Hey everybody, we are going to do a very quick walkthrough on how to get this to produce a chart with a line of best fit. So I've already got some data in here. Your data is going to be different, and I'm going to start by showing if you need to change the number of digits shown if for significant figures. Really easy way to do that. You're going to want to highlight the cell or cells that you want to adjust, and then there are these buttons up here which will allow you to change the number of numbers shown past the decimal. So if I use this button here, that's going to increase those digits, and then if I use this number, that will decrease those. So based on your data, based on your findings in the instructions, you can set these accordingly. And again, you can apply that over multiple cells. If you highlight the cells and then use these buttons, it'll apply the same increase or decrease as you go. So play around with that if you need to. Now we're going to go ahead and make the chart, and we need to select only 2 of these 3 columns. We don't need this column because we want to use actual total distance traveled versus time. So I can't just simply click and drag over here because it is going to take this as well. And there is a trick to just highlight the 2 columns I need. If you're on a PC, you can hold the Control key, and if you're on a Mac, you can hold the Command key in just a moment. But first, start by highlighting this column, and then you can let go of the mouse. It stays highlighted. And then you're going to come over here. You're going to hold either the Control for a PC or Command for a Mac. Hold that key down on the keyboard, and then click and drag here, and that will select just this column. So this way, we don't get this extra column here that we don't need. You're going to go up to Insert, and you're going to scroll down here to Chart, and when you choose Chart, it should put in a scatter chart. It opens up the chart editor. You see a chart pop up on your screen. If it doesn't, you can click that, and then you can find the scatter chart in all of these different options. Down here where it says scatter, you'd want to choose that one, but it seems to default to that, at least for me. So yeah, just double check it says scatter. First thing we will do is we'll scroll down, or actually, excuse me, go to Customize. We'll scroll down. We'll go to Series here, and then we'll scroll down to where we see this trend line box, and we're going to want to click that, and that is going to put a trend line on your graph. You should see this line here, and then scroll down a little bit further, and for the label, we're going to want to use equation, and that's going to put the equation for your best fit. Now, you are going to change that equation, and we're going to do that by double clicking here, but it will probably change this to use custom. You can't just put custom first because it's just going to put this text here. So you definitely want to start with use equation, and then you're going to come over here and click on it, double click on it until it highlights, because we need to add and fix something minor, but we're going to make it apply to our actual application here. So this chart showing us distance traveled per time, and so we want to change that to reflect what we're doing. So I'm going to put a dt equals, and then I'm going to change x to t, because it's not x, we're graphing time here. It is on the x-axis, but if I can put t in there, that makes this a little bit more applicable to what we're doing. And when I hit enter, we can see those changes take effect. If I come over here to the chart editor and I look at the series box again, you'll see that that custom label is there. So once you get something custom in there, you can come back here if you need to do any more editing to it and not double click it if you don't want to. All right, so a few other things I need to update. I'm going to scroll back up. I'm going to close series. I don't need to work with this at the moment. I'm going to go to chart and axis titles, and I'm going to start by editing the chart title. And I'm going to just put that the chart title is average speed of the bullet with meters per second in parentheses to show the units. And then I'm going to go to horizontal, and this is fine for the most part, except I'm going to get rid of the parentheses seconds. I'm just going to do parentheses S, and that's good enough for that. And then for the vertical, now yesterday I was trying to figure out, well, why isn't this showing up? And a student was telling me, well, if you delete the space and then put the space back in, it should pop up again. So that's one way you do it. And if it doesn't say this, you can always type it in, but it should look something like that. All right, so something else that we're going to need to do, you might notice that these all say zeros, and that's kind of a problem. It's not really reflecting our times. Our times are pretty small, but we can't see that here on our chart, but we need to. So we're going to go over to horizontal axis in the customize menu of the chart editor. And where down here it says number format, it says from source data. So we're going to need to change that, which counterintuitively, it should be something else. You would think, well, source data, that's showing the correct times. Why doesn't it work here? But if you click none, you should see the numbers work out, to reflect your actual data. So yeah, again, customize horizontal, and then you can adjust the axis. All right, so now I'm going to move this into place, and you'll notice that I've put this title here, so I'm going to move it down into that area, and I might need to move it a little bit more, but yeah, that looks pretty good right there. So if you have any other questions about how to make these charts, or you're running into a problem, please let me know. I do want to point out one more thing for this lab. You are going to need to use scientific notation, but make sure that you're not trying to do, like 6 times 10 to the 5th. It's going to take that as a text string. If you try to put a equal in front of it, yeah, it doesn't even like that. So the way you enter these, you're going to do equals and then your number E and then your exponent. So like, 6.02 E 23, and it kind of knows, hey, that's, scientific notation. I'll take it. Okay, so make sure you're doing it like that and you're not doing the caret thing, because it will not use that as a number when you go to make the chart. All right, yeah, again, if you have any other questions, let me know.